That's why I don't think zombies would ever be a real threat.
I agree, because...
Whoa, I'll get my kukuri.
Wait. I think he's saying something.
Zombies don't talk.
Just wait a sec. What was that?
You need a loan? What, are you going to buy a house?
What do you need a loan for?
I think he wants to buy a home. Don't we know someone who can help him with that?
Yeah, we do. Have you heard of Corinne Salas at Next Home Grandview in Glendale, California?
Mm-hmm. She can help you get moved into your forever home now.
Your eternal resting place, if you will. Or forever home. That works. Don't miss the opportunity of a lifetime like this guy. Call Corinne today at 714-510-6443. You can also find her on Instagram at Next Home by Corinne, or visit her website at corinnesalas.nexthomegrandview.com. That's CORINNESALAS.nexthomegrandview.com.
Not food.
Hello, survivors, and welcome to another episode of Will You Survive?
The podcast.
Yes, it is episode, I don't know, and we're covering The Maze Runner. 14-year-old me is fucking stoked.
Dude, I haven't watched this until you told me to.
Well, am I crazy? It's a good movie, right?
No, it's really good.
Okay.
It's really good. And you know what? It's so good on the concept that you had brought up in one of our previous episodes of living in a simulation.
Right? That's what made me think of this. So the second movie kind of breaks away from the simulation thing and goes more into like kind of more of a zombie feel, which I don't think I've actually seen the second movie all the way through. So I genuinely don't remember. And I'm not going to lie. I read the first book, fell in love with it. Absolutely. I like the author, James Dashner. I kind of want to go back and read some of those books and see if it's more of a 14-year-old thing or if I'm still going to enjoy it.
Does it still hold up?
Yeah. Is it still as captivating as I remember it being? I don't think my reading comprehension's gone up too much since then, so I should be fine. The premise, though, is really unique. What's some stuff that kind of like really stuck out to you? The
grievers. That was something that was interesting to me. I was a little upset and like... I didn't like out loud yell at the cinematographer, but I was like, God damn it, why do all of these cinematographers shoot through a potato? It was dark. I can't see anything. So I was mad,
signs.
Right? But I liked something about it when the time came, right? I don't think they wanted me, someone who didn't read the book, I was just watching a movie. Maybe the director, Wes Ball, maybe he had the audience in mind that had already read the book. But for someone like me, I didn't know what the grievers were. I didn't know what the maze was. I didn't know why are we here? What is going on? I knew there was something, and my conspiracy theorist mind is like, it's the man. The man has put these guys. And so
kinda.
I'm like, I'm a little like upset.
The book hits the same stuff. So the book is obviously from Thomas's perspective. I believe it's third person, but it's not omniscient.
Okay.
So you know what Thomas knows.
Okay.
And you're kind of going through that whole, I only know my name, and everybody seems to think I'm responsible for everything happening.
Well,
kind of are.
I was interested because I can't say that I didn't trust Thomas. That wasn't the feeling. That wasn't the right feeling.
You knew something was up, though.
But I knew something was up. It wasn't this guy's bad. It was this guy knows something and he doesn't know that he knows it. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I knew the director was telling us everything he did know. That I did. I was confident that I knew what Thomas knew.
Because you saw that even in the very beginning when he was getting like flashes of the inside of the maze, or the behind the scenes of the maze.
One of the things that I knew was when what were they doing? I forget what is the right word. Sparring, I guess. When him and Gally were sparring,
wrestling, fighting.
I mean,
it was kind of just fighting.
It wasn't like an all out beat down because Gally could have beat him down, no problem.
It's more like a pin or like throw to the ground type
and
vibe.
He hit him hard, right? He fell down and then he goes, Thomas.
Knocked the memory into his
right?
head.
And he was like, I remember my name, and everybody was happy for him. So to me, I was like, okay, he's not holding back. He doesn't know that he knows something. But what I liked about him, what I automatically just gravitated toward was I would far rather die trying to live my life and be free than I would concede and live in a box.
So it's interesting because when I read the book again, 14, my imagination wasn't super great. When James Dashner described the glade, I imagined it a lot smaller because it describes that a corner of the glade is a forest. I imagined like real small. I'm like, oh, so there's probably like 7 trees or so. And so when the book described that he went deep into the forest, I'm like, how deep can he go? Never once did my tiny little brain think like, maybe it's just a lot bigger than I'm imagining. So seeing the movie kind of puts that into better perspective, being able to see it. But I don't know why I went on that tangent.
Well, when I said that it was about getting out, I'd rather die getting out.
The book describes it as a perfect 70 degrees every day.
Oh, right.
And like they get the perfect amount of rain for their crops. Like it's a perfect ecosystem. So they have a lot of incentive to stay.
I get it.
And what's out there is very dangerous, and not knowing how to escape, especially once finding out that they already mapped the whole maze.
Right.
They weren't still mapping it like Albie had them telling the rest of the group.
Right.
So they had no idea what they were looking for at this point. No idea how to get out of this maze. There's no obvious exit.
Now, they being the runners?
Yeah,
Like
the runners and Albie.
What are we doing out here? Why are we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Minho who he mapped the whole thing, right? He was the one who knew in the movie.
He's the keeper of the runners. He's basically the head guy. He's in charge of all of them. He didn't map it all himself. The runners mapped it, but he said that he's ran every inch of the maze in the 3 years that he's been there.
Okay. So one of the supporting points that I used for why I would get the hell out of there is all of the chaos that started ensuing as soon as Thomas arrived. Now, I knew that he had something to do with that. I didn't know what. I didn't know why.
They all knew he had something to do with it.
Because everything changed as soon as he got there.
And then, shortly after, not a month, the box came back.
Right.
With a girl.
And a note.
This is the last one.
She will be the last one ever. Which
I imagine, personally, I imagine the ever was in all caps with 2 underlines on it and like 3 exclamation marks.
Was it not?
Did they show it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they showed it in the movie. And so
did it actually look like that?
I thought
that's what
so.
I imagined.
That's what I have in my head. So maybe I just imagined.
We're just imagining the same thing.
Yeah. But the thing that I saw was all of the changes, right? Ben getting stung during the day, like in broad daylight.
What?
So things are different. Why are they different? Thomas is here. This girl is now here. Everything's changing. And personally, without knowing anything, what I thought was, we have to go. It's only going to get worse now. And I didn't quite understand the note. She will be the last one ever. Until they said later on in the movie, the elevator never went back down. So I was like, they're not getting any more supplies. They were talking about how it was like the perfect little setup because they always got enough supplies from the elevator. Why don't you jump in the elevator? Well, we can't. It won't go down if somebody's in it. They're like, okay, well, this time it never went back down. Well, shit, you are screwed.
Yeah, because the thing was they always got new supplies. Now, they had to farm, they had to ranch, they had to do all that stuff. And they had, in the book, they describe it a lot more, obviously. There was like groups, and every group had a keeper. And the keeper is basically just the person in charge of that group. The movie doesn't really touch on it as much because that's not the main focus of it. But that's what I find interesting about it is the survival of the 3 years up to Thomas getting there.
Right.
That's interesting to me.
And what is the most interesting about that is Albie was there first.
A month?
Alone.
Can you imagine? What happens if he dies?
Then the next person has to go and be there alone.
I guess so.
for a month.
I don't think Dashner ever mentions anything about this in the book, but I wonder if more before Albie were sent and just didn't make it.
Ooh.
Got too curious about the maze,
Ooh, you can at least think it.
and then Albie was just the first to survive a month.
Yeah, you can at least think it.
That's an interesting thought.
And so what got me with that, a little fun fact here. I was reading the trivia on this movie and the book, really. It was some trivia that was James Dashner wrote all of the names of all of the characters to be takes on like famous mathematicians and
Oh yeah, you were telling me
scientists.
that.
And so Albie is Albert Einstein, Thomas is Thomas Edison, Fry is Sigmund Freud, Gally is Galileo.
You know who Minho is?
Minho was, I think it was just his father-in-law or his. It was a relative. It wasn't someone like it wasn't a celebrity. But I'm like, I kind of think that could be a very big compliment to somebody if he's like,
Yeah.
this person in my family with all of these intellectual giants. And but I really liked that character,
Thomas?
Minho.
Oh, Minho, yeah. Minho's even cooler in the book.
Really?
Way cooler. He's still quiet, but he's not as quiet. He's super dope.
I love how he was the one who kept telling Thomas, "You're crazy. You're crazy."
In the book, Minho, I don't think he quits, but he steps down as keeper, and he puts Thomas as his, he like nominates him as his replacement.
Wow.
It's like a big moment in the book where you're like, oh shit, he wanted to be a runner for so long, and now he's the keeper.
I would be interested in checking out that book.
You
know what I
I
thought?
want to read it to make sure it's actually good.
The very first time when we saw Ben get stung, and then you saw all of that, like it was like spreading. You could see it, physically see it spreading
Yeah.
from his sting. Then I don't know why, but what came into my head, and I wanted to tell you this because we were toying with the idea of doing a TV series, right? It would be hard in this format, but maybe not.
Oh, yeah. For the podcast. Yeah, I see what you mean.
The Strain.
Oh, see, The Strain's good because that's one we've both already seen.
I haven't.
You haven't seen
No,
it?
I've only watched parts of it
Maybe we could do like an episode per season.
because it's like it's vampire,
So much happens though.
but it's undead.
You know what? Let us know if you'd be interested in this. We could just do like 30-minute segments, 30-minute episodes for each episode.
Yes.
Because those episodes are packed with info and it's such a good show.
Yeah.
That show actually captivated me. I have the book.
I picked up the book and I started reading a part of it. And one of the things that blew me away was I didn't even look at the cover. I just opened it up and I started reading. I was like, good author. Right away.
Wow.
Good author.
Yeah.
Because I just picked it up, opened it to any page, started reading, and didn't want to put it down. And I was like, what the heck? And then I look and I was like, oh my God, that's Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I had no knowledge of the show or the book before I just walked in. I just saw The Strain, picked it up, started looking at it. And one of the things
You didn't see some episodes with me?
in passing,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I would come home and
For lunch.
Yeah, you would be watching it, and
Back in COVID times.
back in COVID times.
And I've binge watched a lot of shows.
You know, it's so funny because I can tell you that I think 2020 and 2021 were like non-existent for me.
Really?
Yeah, but I can't explain why because
Because your job didn't really
I
change
work
that much.
every day.
Yeah.
I'm in
Your
information
day-to-day
and
life
technology.
didn't change.
I was there. I was working. I was going, and nothing changed for me.
2020 was very pivotal. A lot of things happened in that year that kind of like, it's not really, it was the end of an era kind of. Like 2019 and 2020 are very different.
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
incredibly, like the time before 2019 or the time before 2020 and 2019, that doesn't exist anymore. And I don't know if that ever will. That's like a vibe that I just can't quite.
I got
explain.
married in the end of 2019.
Lucky you.
And so I always joked around and said it was the party to end all parties.
Yeah, it was right around that time too.
And you know what was
Right
funny?
before.
We were considering
Doing a March.
early on doing it in March.
Yeah, you told me. God, that would have sucked.
and we went. Everyone was like, "Why are you doing it in November?" Like, oh, it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be dark, and it certainly was. It was cold. It was dark. It wasn't that cold though. You remember
It's
that?
LA.
It was a nice warm day.
It doesn't get that cold.
No, not for. I mean,
It gets chilly, but I don't think it ever gets cold enough to say no to a wedding.
you know what made me laugh was I always love this when we have a family member who lives out on the East Coast and comes home and says, California, you don't know what cold is. But then there were those nights that it would get down to like 42 degrees. We're like, oh my God, it's cold. Like, ha ha.
Yeah, every time she grabs a sweater, I'm like, I thought New Yorkers don't get cold.
Yeah, because
You guys love to shove it in our face like we're crazy.
It's a different cold out here.
No, it's the marine layer.
It's the marine layer.
What?
It cuts to your bones.
I'm telling you, when you don't know what it is and you're sitting out on a patio at a restaurant and it starts getting dark in California, in Southern California, it starts getting dark, and then all of a sudden you're, oh my God, it's really cold. It's so chilly.
That was a real story for me.
You put on a sweater and you're like, I don't feel cold, but I can't stop shaking.
So I used to work at a restaurant long ago, another life ago. It was early afternoon. I think it was about 4:00. Some people came in and they told me that they had just arrived from Chicago, and it was winter for us, right? But it's a Southern California winter, so it was high 60s. The patio was empty because Californians don't sit out on the patio in November, December. December.
Especially closer to sunset.
Right. It's
going to get too cold. It's not going to be enjoyable.
Right.
You're going to rather be inside.
And so I said, do you want me to turn the heaters on? They're like, oh no, like this is perfect. Like there's nothing. Oh, the sun's going to go down. Like you'll want the heaters nice and hot by the time it gets cold. No. We're from Chicago. Like you guys in California don't know what cold is. Like true. Right. But I am like that on purpose. I like
They don't know. They don't know what cold is.
That was the funny thing, because the sun set.
I've been to Chicago,
and I bring food. I bring the food out, and one of the people was like, "Can you turn the heaters on?" And I was like, "Oh, did you get cold?" She goes, "It's not just cold. Like I'm not cold. Mm-hmm. It's inside me."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's the marine layer."
That is a horrible. That's I'm shaking and I can't stop, but I'm not cold.
Yeah. Well,
it's
you can put on a
so
sweater.
Strange.
You can put on a jacket, and you'll start sweating.
It cuts through.
But you're still cold.
Yeah. That marine layer. So when you don't know it exists, that'll creep up on you real quick. But when you know it exists, man, it makes the cold more enjoyable in other places.
Yeah, I get it.
I went to Michigan in February, and the suit was a nicer suit. So it kept me a little warm. But I had no problem running in and out of the venue, like to the car or like running outside to smoke with people. It was cold. Especially we went to Lake Huron. That was really cold. The whole like coast of it was ice.
Yep.
I have a couple cool pictures there on my Instagram, Erik M. Salas.
Nice. Little plug.
Just small little just shameless self-promotion in there. That was cold because of how windy it was. It was just slamming. It was like icicles slapping me in the face.
Yep.
But the venue, it wasn't that bad. That cold actually felt kind of enjoyable. It was nice to like step out from the hot venue and be like, it's nice and cool. I don't mind seeing my breath. So I realized I don't necessarily mind the cold. I just really don't like Alaska cold, and I don't like California cold.
I mean, it makes perfect sense when I think back to my youth. I used to go deep sea fishing all the time. And even in the summertime, you go out in the deep sea, you're going to get cold.
You wear a sweater.
And
that's why you always see fishermen wearing sweaters.
You wear a jacket.
Or you see the crazy ass ones who are shirtless.
Yeah, those are, I've only seen a few guys like that, but most of the time you're covered, right? Because you're gonna get wet, right? Mm-hmm. And water's gonna spray over the bow. You're gonna get wet.
And
Just
if
get
there's
over
wind,
it.
You are going to get hit by the wind. There is nothing blocking the wind. There's no mountains here.
Absolutely nothing. And the water, what's good? It's good and bad. The water regulates the temperature, right? The water regulates the air temperature. So it's never going to get...
But that means it's always that cold.
That's exactly what it means. And so I got very used to that kind of temperature. And I was a beach bum as a teenager. I was always at the beach. So I got used to it, but I also got, what is the word? Complacent? because I didn't really think too much about it. I just knew that when I say cold, I think I'm saying it in a way that people from other parts of the country don't understand me. Because yeah, you're right. It's not like it is when you go up to the Colorado Rockies. We don't hit zero. We don't go below zero. We don't even go below freezing here very often. I mean, I can remember maybe a handful of times that we've been below freezing in our area. It doesn't happen often. And in those times, to be fair, it's really cold. Even that's a different cold for us. So when you talk about the Glade, right? That's what it was called. Being a perfect 70 degrees. And they were there for 3 years. And they were alone for the most part. And they got like one more. I can also imagine that kind of complacency of it's nice. We have everything we need. What do we need to go out for?
And that's what the doors not closing was for.
To get them out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go.
That was this is no longer safe. So the in the book, he also describes that the weather starts becoming erratic. It starts to rain a lot. It starts to get cloudy. So that's I think it's on the night that the doors, everything all happened at once. The weather started changing, and then the doors didn't close, and the grievers came in. Which I remember the grievers being described a lot more kind of organic, but I could be very wrong about that. Because the mechanical portion of it was very necessary to the story.
That's where I was getting. I give Wes Ball a pass because the cinematography seemed so bad to me. But then afterwards I was like, oh, that was on purpose.
What do you mean by bad? What bothered you about it?
The lighting. You couldn't see shit.
Oh, yeah.
You could hear the griever. You could kind of see the griever. But
there's no lights in the maze.
And I mean, that makes perfect sense. I'm not knocking that, but it's like most movies where, you realize that, okay, this isn't meant to be realistic. The people are walking around in a room and they're like pretending like they can't see anything, and they have their hands out in front of them.
Like Train to Busan.
And they're using like a blue light where you can see, you could see everything, exactly like Train to Busan. And this wasn't like that at all, where it was our characters were running and they knew everywhere they had to go, but it was still so dark and I couldn't see what this griever was. And I think that what they wanted me to see was they wanted me to believe it was purely organic until they killed it. And then you saw, damn, this thing is mechanical. This is a cyborg, if you will.
Well, there's a little bit of, I guess it kind of depends. I was going to say there's a little bit of you that has to know it's mechanical because that's how you get stung.
I thought scorpion.
And
I
how
thought this thing is like a huge scorpion.
Also how it moves, the way it kind of clanks across the concrete.
Didn't think anything of it.
That screamed mechanical to me. But I could understand how when you're running away from that thing or trying not to be caught out at night, nobody survives the night in the maze.
Right.
So nobody really had firsthand account of what this thing looks like and what it can do.
That's right.
All they know is that if you get caught by it, you're done. You don't see anybody again.
Except for Thomas. Well,
Ben and Albie and Minho all saw a griever and didn't die from it. Ben died after. But that brings up an interesting thing. Nobody had ever been... Wow, man, that's even more interesting because I don't know if they really discussed that in the book. No one could have really been... How did they know about the stings? Because you would think over 3 years, of course they would know. But how would they?
Okay.
Because if no one ever survived the night and no one had been stung in broad daylight before... How would they know what the stings did?
My thought process was that they got stung. Man.
But it would have to be in daylight. That was the only time they'd be out. Or they don't survive the night. Thomas was the first one to survive the night with Minho and Albie.
But was it a matter of them surviving the night? Was it? No, I guess you're right.
Because how else would they know what a griever looks like unless you get caught out at night?
Wow.
So, and if nobody had been stung before, I'm sure there's an explanation somewhere.
Yeah.
But how do they figure out about the stings? Because also, if somebody had gotten stung in the past, you could chalk it up to they're going crazy from the sting, but they get all their memories back.
Wait.
So
did they get all the memories back from the sting?
Yeah,
or did they get it back from
the toxin?
The antidote.
No, they get all their memories back from the sting. Remember how Ben was saying, this is your fault. You did this. I saw you.
Oh.
You gain all your memories back from the sting. Drives you crazy, and it also kills you. The antidote is just to stop it from killing you.
So
but
that's
you
a good
keep
question.
your memories. So how would they know about the stings?
That's a good question.
I don't think they could.
Maybe you found a hole.
I might have found a hole. I haven't read the book in a long time. Maybe he explains in the book, and they just left it on the movie. But I mean, lifting up the shirt and seeing all the black veins and stuff, it's a pretty good indicator that it's not good.
Yeah, that's enough. And what they did to him, how they pushed him out.
Oh my God, I was going to talk about that. So heartbreaking.
And he's begging them not to.
And what was so heartbreaking is that none of them wanted to do that. The way they all walked away, heads down, it was a horrible moment for them. But like, what else can you do?
Yeah, because Ben was going crazy. And he was becoming really violent.
So here's the thing. Was he becoming violent from the venom? Because I think his rage was justified towards Thomas.
True.
Thomas was the one he attacked.
Damn. Now did they straight murder the guy?
I think the venom would definitely eventually kill him. I don't know if he was going crazy or if he just had all these memories and couldn't articulate it.
And the appropriate rage was, what would you say, mistaken for being
it just went over their heads because they can't assume that Thomas had anything really to do with this.
Wow.
So I don't know how crazy he was or how much they just put a dying guy out in the maze to die to grievers.
They might have murdered a dude.
They might have. And the fact that they have that equipment means that they've done it before.
Oh, man.
Why else would they have those special flat end sticks to push people in? And they had it planned out where people would stand on the side with spears. They'd done this before, which I could understand that if you get a rogue person. You get a guy who comes in who's scaring everybody. What else? I mean, besides fucking stabbing him, chopping him up right there in the glade, forcing him out into the maze at night seems to be the most... It's kind of the most coward way of handling the situation, but... They're here.
Who?
The zombies.
I thought the gate would stop them.
They knocked it down instantly.
How much time do we have?
They're already here.
We should have bought that beautiful Los Angeles dream house in that safe neighborhood that Corinne showed us.
I know, it was so much more defensible, and Corinne would have had us moved in before the apocalypse.
Do you think it's too late to call her now?
I'll try. No! We should have called Corinne sooner!
Don't wait until it's too late. Call Corinne Salas today at 714-510-6443 and buy your Los Angeles dream house now. That's 714-510-6443. You can also find her on Instagram at nexthomebycorinne or visit her website at corinnesalas.nexthomegrandview.com. That's CORINNESALAS.nexthomegrandview.com. So, this movie gave me, this was my, shall I say, my conspiracy theory, spidey senses were going nuts on this. There was so much wrong with everything. I didn't not trust Thomas. I didn't not trust Albie. I didn't have those problems.
Do you trust Wicked?
Not even in the slightest bit. No. From the very first time I heard Wicked is good, I'm like, fuck you, liar. Like, I'm sorry, but if you're truly good, if you're truly doing something like this for good, give these kids their memory. Let them understand why they're doing this.
Well, how much does that affect what they go through? Because at the end, the scientist lady, who totally has a name that I don't remember,
I know. I'm having a hard time with her name too.
She was telling them that they had to be exposed to really difficult trials to see what made them so special.
Page.
Dr. Page. Which I can't lie, kind of sounds a little bit like a an excuse to do something kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You remember the shot of the maze from the helicopter?
Yes.
Yeah, I have beef with that. How the hell is it a perfect 70 degrees if it's an open topped maze?
Oh, damn.
It's a perfect 70 degrees, right? And it's always sunny. It rains at specific times. So unless it has its own invisible atmosphere,
Right.
which is possible, I suppose, in this
Right.
fantasy
No,
kind
I
of
think
world.
in the movie they fucked that up.
Yeah, because I don't think they ever do that in the book. I really got to read the book
Yeah.
to compare.
But I mean, I think this is one of those scenarios where I can't say staying put is the best case. I think, what is your desire? What is your outcome? What are you aiming for? To just survive, stay put. To live,
Well, once the grievers start coming in, not anymore.
true. I mean, and then look at what Galley is willing to do. He's willing to offer human sacrifices
Yeah.
to satiate their bloodlust.
The galley period. How do you feel about Galley throughout the movie?
I'm harsh on him, but I think the writer and the director kind of call open season on him. So I'll be harsh. I think he's a coward. I think he's far more scared of everything than he's willing to admit. He wants to come off as brave. He wants to come off as a leader, which always bothers me because one of the things I would tell you is people who want leadership role
Should not leave.
should not be in a leadership role. And the fact that he wanted it and he had this like innate distrust for everybody else except for Albie. Like he never questioned Albie for some
Well,
reason.
did he have a distrust for everybody else? Or
Yeah.
just Thomas?
No, because he argued with Newt all the time. He argued with every decision
Newt
he
was
made.
Newt was very rational.
You know, Galley wanted to take control from early on. Once Albie went missing, he wanted to take control.
I see that. I have mixed feelings about Galley. Galley is kind of an ass a lot of the movie. I hate shit like this. When he saved Thomas by giving him that really fucking nasty shove
Yeah.
at the completely unnecessary. No, you didn't save my life. You could have saved my life by also going, "Hey, don't go in there if you don't want to die, dude. I'm just telling you."
Yep.
That you don't have to run up your first interaction with me is to just shove me, blindside me,
Right.
and shove me, and then be like, "Whoa, why are you mad, bro?
Right.
Why are you mad? Why the fuck do you think I'm mad? What the fuck?"
Yeah, he had a vibe about him, which the character himself plays a lot of roles like that. In the Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and he was in that. Galley was in that movie. He was the cousin. I forget his name right now, but he was like this spoiled brat. Think of Harry Potter's cousin,
Dudley.
Dudley. Spoiled. I mean, always got his way. That was this kid. He was so in the books. Now I'm going off the books. He was so bad that when he did all of the wrong things, one of the punishments was he turned into a dragon, and it kind of revealed his inner nature.
Evil.
But it terrified him, and he became remorseful, and that ended up saving him. But he played a great part in that movie, even
Especially at the end.
though they really messed up. They tried to rush too much in the movie series. It's an 8-book series, and they tried to just like
In 3
compress
movies.
it all down. But in this movie, he was he's still very believable. But I do think that one of the things that they wanted us to get out of him was he tried to hide his fear with overt strength.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he tried to manhandle people to show I'm not scared. You know, I'm brave, I'm strong, I can handle it. But it's more than that. We know, as the moviegoer, not the kids in the glade, we know, looking in on them, that you don't have an option. You have to get out. You know, the doors aren't closing anymore. It's not because of Thomas. Now, it coincides with Thomas's arrival for a specific reason.
Well, it also coincides with the fact that Teresa showed up and the first words out of her mouth were Thomas.
Right.
That raises a few red flags.
Well, I get it. Being skeptical by nature, I'm a conspiracy theorist.
What I gathered from Gally was he was scared, and probably more scared than everybody else. Just seeing his behavior, I got an asshole who's scared. That's the vibe I got. Like, we're all scared, and you're going to start acting this way. That just makes everything worse, dude.
Yeah.
This is the time for more unity than ever.
Right.
Which I will say, this is one of those rare series where I enjoy kids surviving together, like all those tropes. I hate shows where it's like this group of 14 to 18-year-olds, there's no adults, and they're all on their own now, and they have to start civilization. All the same tropes happen. It does nothing but annoy me. The 100 did it. I think there's one.
Did you ever read Lord of the Flies?
No, that's a similar thing though, right?
Yeah, but that was one of the OG ones.
That was a Stephen King novel.
No.
Right? Oh, no?
No, that wasn't Stephen King. Let me tell you.
Was there a movie?
Yeah.
I've heard the book be referenced.
William Golding. The book it actually showed an element of pure evil. Well, I thought it was very interesting to name it the Lord of the Flies. One of the names of the Lord of the Flies is Beelzebub, and that's one of the chief demons. So I thought it was interesting to call the book the Lord of the Flies, and all of these boys devolve into pure animalistic chaos.
It's surprising to me that these kids from the Maze Runner didn't.
And that's kind of where when I watched, I had this like skepticism of why are they not? Why are they all in some kind of a harmony?
It was Albie.
Yeah. Clearly we know watching it that the right thing to do is to move, right? You got to get out of there.
You don't have any choice.
Can't let yourself be complacent. Yeah, it's easier to stay put, right? There's an old school quote. There's a quote from back in the day. I believe it's from Samuel Adams, the founding father, not the beer maker.
I thought it was the same guy.
I wonder.
I'm pretty sure they are. I could be talking down on my ass. Look it up. I'm pretty sure. Jamie, pull it up. You get that reference, right?
What is that?
Jamie? Oh, it's Joe Rogan's fact check guy.
Oh, is that right?
I think so. Jamie, pull that up.
If you love wealth better than liberty, the tranquility of servitude better than the animating contest of freedom, go home from us in peace. We ask not your counsel nor your arms. Crouch down and lick the hand which feeds you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that you were our countrymen.
I think a lot of people in today's world just got offended, and good.
So now we got to know, is Samuel Adams the same guy?
I'm pretty sure he is known for that. Or that could have just been something I saw on Instagram.
It is named after the founding father.
Named after, or was it his recipe?
He inherited his father's brewery on Boston's King Street.
Let's go. I know my U.S. history. I know my founding fathers.
He worked as a brewster or as a maltster.
And that's what we need. Good, hard-working, honest men leading this country.
They were businessmen. They were not politicians.
No. That's the biggest thing. I can't believe politician is a job in itself. Like, that's a career field people go into. That's wild to me.
And the fact that they're getting filthy rich.
Something we could agree with the Gladers. Fuck the man.
Fuck the man.
Wow. I just love sailing through the cosmos on my spaceship. Oh, look over there. It's a family of aliens. Hi. Oh, I wonder where they're off to in such a rush. Oh, my. That guy must be going close to light speed. Why is everyone in such a rush? Oh, no. No. It's another banger song from Erik Salas. I don't want to listen to it on repeat for the next 2 weeks. Please. It's too good. No. Ah!
So, what do we think with the Gladers here? I keep trying to wrap my brain around it, and I am of the same mind as Thomas. If I have any inkling that I'm a prisoner, I want out. I don't want to just concede to my fate of living in this box. You know, that's where I get like so many people who, it makes me sad for them because they're like, oh, we go and work 40 hours a day, do this. And, you know, yeah, every week. And I listen to them. I'm like, man, that is so sad. Because everything I've always done has been what I've wanted to do. I've failed at many businesses, but I keep trying, doing something I think fairly successful now. But everything I've done, I've loved doing it. So I don't feel like that. I don't feel like I have to be doing this. Oh, I'm going into work and I'm clocking in and I'm putting my 40 hours. God, I don't even know the last time that I only worked 40 hours. You know,
Yeah.
It's mind blowing to me.
You know, on that topic, you once said to me, it's a pretty famous quote, that if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. Mm-hmm. And I never thought there would be a job that I would genuinely love so much that it wouldn't feel like work. But I found one.
You did.
I really like this job, working with the dogs.
You also did what is recommended, to find what you love to do, find what you're willing to do for free, do it, then find someone to pay you for it. And you won't be working. It's not a job at that point. It's your passion. It's what you love.
You know, it's funny because one of the biggest things that makes my job so enjoyable is I can listen to music the entire time.
You can play music.
I can play music the entire time. A lot of my coworkers are musicians. There's speakers in the backyard. So when I'm working in the backyard with the big dogs, I just put on my music and just start doing updates. I'm learning a lot about their personalities. The other night, I had I don't know what this one dog is, but it was a shepherd and this other really energetic dog. One of them, Arlo, he was super hyper, kept jumping a lot. He wanted pets. He wanted attention. But he kept jumping on me, and I'm not a big fan of that, especially with the big dogs. I don't like that. So I told him to sit, and the second he would sit, I'd give him some pets. And then I'd stop, and if he would start jumping again, I would ignore him. I'd tell him to sit, until eventually, by the end of the night, he was just walking up to me and sitting and just waiting. And he was easy. He's a very smart dog. I didn't realize it. He's a very smart dog. Otto, the German Shepherd, is kind of an asshole. He's a sweet dog, but he does this thing where he'll lick your face and then he'll just nip. He's never actually bit me or anything, but he just lunges at your face like almost gotcha. Like, he does it so often, and it pisses me off when he does it because he's a big, scary shepherd.
Got your nose.
Yeah, so he does that, and I'm like, bro, you're coming at me like you're about to bite me. Why are you doing that? So I implemented a new rule with him. I sat down with him and I told him, there's a new boundary between us. You are never going to be at the same level as my eyes. And that's our new rule. And he gets it. He understands it. He's a little more bullheaded and a little more energetic than Arlo, but he knows what I mean. And he does this thing where he'll get like halfway up on the table and look me eye to eye, and I'll go to push him down and he'll just put his mouth over my wrist as I'm pushing him off, kind of like, no, stop.
You know, I don't know why I thought of this from a dog biting your wrist, but like playfully biting your wrist, you know, not really. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I kept thinking throughout this whole movie that when the grievers took these people that they didn't actually die. Like I kept getting this weird, like, they're not killing them. But I don't know why I would have thought that when
like
we
they
saw
were being taken away.
Ben was just mutilated, right?
Well,
his shirt
all you
was
saw
like
was
ripped
the shirt,
to shreds, and if I'm not mistaken, it was bloody.
It was a red shirt, but I don't know if it was always red.
So I'm like, he's carrying it out, and it just looked like It looked like gore to me. I don't know why I
It
thought
probably
that.
was.
Maybe it was just my head. Maybe I imagined it. But I thought that, and I was like, what if these things aren't even killing these kids? They're just taking them away. And it wasn't until, what was that? They were at the end. They were trying to punch in the code, and they were all backed in to that corridor, and all of the grievers were coming at them, and they had gotten some of the kids, and I was like, oh shit.
No, they're dying.
Like, they're killing them.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which is so much worse when you remember that these are kids.
right.
These are in the book. They're I think they're aged 14 to 17.
See,
They're not adults.
I just, damn. But I was very pleasantly surprised with everything that they decided to do, that Thomas convinced them to do. I was really bummed about Gally coming back at the end and
Killing Chuck
deciding to try to shoot
because
Thomas.
he stung himself. He did what Thomas did.
Right.
He stung himself to get back his memories.
And remembered
but he
everything.
didn't like what he remembered, and he was going crazy because he didn't have the antivenom.
Right.
So he was dying from, and I think it did like make a rage in you.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Chuck's reaction time. Also, Minho's throw. God damn.
Right.
Oh, when I saw him grabbing that spear, I'm like, do it, bro. Do it. That'd be so sick.
He was so slick about it too.
Pinpoint accuracy.
I just,
You know what?
heartbreaking end.
You know what was kind of heartbreaking? They like kind of flash over at Gally when they're all being dragged out of the building. And you see Gally he still kind of like twitches a little bit,
Yeah.
or like his eye moves. He's watching Chuck die in front of him.
Oh, wow.
And that's not who he meant to shoot.
Right.
So that had to
He knew Chuck for a long time.
suck.
So, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Will you survive
I think a lot
maze
of
trials?
This might be my ego. There's a lot of things I think I won't survive. Some weird part of me thinks I could totally survive this.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think I have Chuck's mentality. I'd rather die. So it's like I can either go and live or I can go and die.
That's
But-
such a scary death, though.
But it's quick.
You don't. Well, is it? You don't know how quick that is.
I don't know. I mean, if I'm fighting them and they're tearing me to bits, quick.
I don't know. I still feel like getting smashed between the walls is quicker.
Okay. That's a slow moving wall.
Not really. They close pretty
That's true.
fast.
That's true. I mean, it was slow enough that they could get through it, but
I mean, I
but
think
fast enough that it would crush you pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I still think the death wouldn't be.
Crush the grievers quick.
Yeah, I don't think the death would be fun in
Right.
any way, but and I think there'd be any sort of like any normal amount of panic to dying, but compared to dying to a griever,
But what is your outcome? What are you staying put or are you running?
I think I would have to be like for my own personality. I think I'd have to be a runner because I want to know what's out there. There's no part of me that could just be okay with not knowing what's out there.
Right.
But it's also, I get that it's not really a catch-22, but it's kind of like you don't just decide you want to be a runner, and none of the runners want to be a runner.
Right.
It's not something you enjoy doing. It's something you have to do. So I get that. Going out seems pretty fucking scary. But also, going out during the day, as long as you have pretty good time management, that doesn't seem that bad. You're just kind of exploring.
The thing that interests me is that all of the runners had to have incredible memories.
Yeah. What I think about is how horrible I am at drawing accurate maps. How the hell did they map out a maze?
3 years
I guess
worth of
over
doing that.
I guess over 3 years.
They
you
made
get
a
pretty
lot
good.
of mistakes and they corrected them. But that's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But I think I was impressed I enjoyed it. It was the right amount of suspense, and it was the right amount of, what is the word? It's not horror. Suspense and what do they call it? Thriller, like a psychological thriller, because they were messing with my head the whole time, and I'm pretty sure they intended to do that.
I seem to have a thing for those types of movies.
Shutter Island.
Yeah.
God.
I really like those. Those are good movies.
Anyway, guys, let us know what you think. If you've seen this movie, we'd like to know your input. Hit us up on all our socials, TikTok, Instagram, Will You Survive? Our X account, what do we call it?
Account?
Our account.
Account.
Our account is at Alex and Erik WYS, and our email, Alex and Erik at willyousurvivethepodcast.com.
Yeah, let me know if you've read this book and if it's as good as I remember it being, because I remember it being really good.
Is it worth us reading it again?
Yeah, please save my time, because this will be like a year-long read for me. So, all right, this episode over.